Hey guys, what's going on? It's Trevorneff here, and today I'm basically going to be helping you guys set up, learning how to stream, like what I would use for streaming, just things like that, things that I think would be helpful for you guys. And also, if there's any questions that you have in the comments below, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, but hopefully everything that I talk about in this video will basically help you with streaming and trying to understand how all that works. I'll be talking about some of the programs that I either use or have used or mainly will recommend. Let's get into it. So the first thing that you obviously want to use is something called OBS Studio or Streamlabs. I use Streamlabs, but if you rather just kind of not type it in just because there are some fake copies out there that can either try to hack you or basically try to cause you a virus, Twitch actually has something. It's right here. So what you can do if you want to make it easier on yourself to find out which software you should use, just go to Twitch, go to the Twitch website. You don't have to be on your homepage specifically, but you can just click right here. You can go to Creator Dashboard, and then if you want to come here down to Streaming Tools, it gives you all the tools that you either have, or you can either just find ones here. They recommend Streamlabs, or they recommend OBS Studio, or even XSplit. I used XSplit when I was younger, probably when I was like 16, 17. XSplit at the time was not the best software to use. There's a lot of issues with the speed of it. Even if you try to make it the best settings possible, there were still a lot of pixels. They might have fixed it up to this day. It's obviously been about like 8 years for me since I last used it. But yeah, they give you the download guides right here to Studio and Streamlabs. So if you just click on download, it takes you to the web browser, and same with Streamlabs. And the next thing is, once you do either set up Streamlabs or if you set up OBS Studio, they will basically auto configure for what is best for your PC. It reads off your graphics card, it reads off your other parts of your computer, and basically that's what I would recommend, is you just do the auto, where it detects your PC, it detects the specs inside, and it detects it picks up on your network. Let it do all that, and once it's all set and good, I honestly probably wouldn't change anything else. You can, I just probably would not. But if you want to use some of the settings I use for streaming, I can show you here. So if you see right here, these are my settings. I have Ultra, so my stuff might be a little bit different than your guys's. I'm not too sure. But basically, I have my output as advanced, so it's a little bit different. I use my GPU as the encoder, not the CPU. If you use your CPU while you're trying to stream, and you're trying to stream a high-performance game, it's trying to take all the resources from your CPU, and it's gonna make your streams look really pixelated. It's gonna make it lag really bad. So it's better if you just try to stream off your GPU, which mine is an AMD. I will be getting that changed in a little bit to NVIDIA. I would keep the rate control at CBR. Bitrate, they mainly want you to try to stay with 6, but they allow 8. You want to keep your keyframe interval at 2. Other than that, you don't have to mess with anything else here. If you plan to do some recordings, here are your audio tracks right here. Basically, the audio tracks make it to where, say if you wanted to have Discord as a track, and your game and your music, you can have multiple tracks here. So if you go to record and you want to edit your stream after it's done, basically what I do is I stream and record at the same time, just so that way I can just cut out the parts I don't need. And say you have your microphone at track 2, and then you have your game at track 3, and your Discord at track 4. Basically what you can do with that is, in editing, all those tracks will come up depending on the editing software you use. I use DaVinci Resolve, so they always show up. They might not always show up for you. Every editing software is a little bit different. Basically, all you have to do is, once those come up in your video editor software, you can mess with those tracks to the best of your ability. So if they didn't sound good on stream, they can sound better through video. And I can make a separate video on that too if you guys want me to show you how to do that as well. For the recording, I make it 40,000. This right here, the higher the better, but I don't think you want to go too high. You don't need to mess with the keyframe interval really at all. Audio, I keep it at 44.1. These are my headphones, and this is my mic. You can keep this top audio device 2 disabled unless you have a mixer board. If you have a mixer board, then it might be a little bit different. For video, I personally would recommend try to stay at 1080 60 frames per second if you can, unless you have a computer that doesn't have the most up-to-date parts. Then I probably recommend both of these be at 720 while keeping this at 60 or 30. Well, now you're probably wondering, well, how do I get my Twitch logged in? Because I feel like I need my stream code. You really don't need that streamer key really at all. With Streamlabs, all you have to do is you just have to hit the login button. Your guys' will say log in, and then once you hit login, you just type your username and your password, and if you have your two-way authenticator enabled, get your code, put that in, and then you get like a little mini web browser that asks to authorize your Twitch. You hit accept, it automatically connects. So basically what happens then is right here, you guys will start out with like a blank screen, so it'll probably look something like this. So you're gonna see right here, it's a blank screen. That's fine. So if you guys see right here, you're gonna see that after you have your blank screen, all you have to do is come down to your sources, and then you're gonna see right here, it's gonna say video capture device. Basically what this does is it makes it to where it can use your camera, and you can also use a capture card. If you use a capture card, there's gonna be a separate audio track already for that, so you don't need to add a video track, or you don't need to add a audio track. It'll just bring one up on its own. And depending on the capture card, there might be a second delay. I have a capture card that is perfectly in sync, like Elgato. Back in the day when I had Elgato, it was 1 second delay. They might have fixed that now, I don't know. But that's how you can like set up your webcam. And a lot of people think that today you need to use like fancy layouts, like how I have mine here. This, I guess, could be considered fancy because of the top here, and then you have all this stuff here. But you really don't need all that just to start out with streaming. Always try to keep your area looking nice. Microphone, try to get a good microphone. Headset microphones are okay, but the problem with headset microphones is if you try to like say words like or letters with P, B, S, sometimes T, like something like that, you'll get like a lot of peaking noise, and it's always good to get a microphone that won't be as much of an issue. As a starting out microphone, I would recommend the Blue Snowball. But if you're just trying to get straight into being a professional, I'd probably go with an Elgato Wave 3 or a HyperX microphone or a HyperX S mic. I'm not really a big fan of the Yetis. I wouldn't really recommend those too much. People like them, and that's their preference. I'm not gonna say that they're wrong for having their opinion. I just personally don't like them. I wouldn't go for them anymore. For a camera, I would probably just say go with a Logitech C920 over anything else because those cameras are pretty nice. If you want to go with the Logitech brand, I recently just upgraded to an Elgato webcam, and this camera works phenomenally. It's 60 frames per second, so that's probably what I go with the most. So if you want to capture your game for whatever game you're playing, sometimes it'll be buggy, so you just gotta kind of work with it. I would recommend something called game capture. Basically, the game capture will either find a full screen game, or if you play your game in window borderless, the game capture, you can set it to capture a specific window. Make sure that the title matches the game that's up, and it'll capture that on its own. Basically, that's all you have to do for that. Now, if you guys want follow alerts, I probably say go to the Streamlabs website. You can go to alert box, and there's a lot of them where you need Ultra. I have Ultra, so I have like almost every one. Like I can get any type that I want. But if you want to have one on your stream, you can copy this code here, or you can launch a green screen. Copying would be a little bit easier. And then if you go back to your Streamlabs or even OBS, you can just click on sources. You can click on browser source, and that link that you just captured, put that there, and it should pop up. And then just to test to see if it works, literally you just have to hit the test button on Streamlabs, or if you're on the Streamlabs application, just hit this little arrow and you could do that. But yeah, basically you don't need anything like too fancy, really. There's probably more I could show you guys. If you guys have any questions in the comments, let me know. I would love to help you guys out any way I can. And then once you pretty much have everything set up, you can go from there, basically through Streamlabs. So now I'm going to show you guys the OBS Studio things. So basically with OBS Studio, your guys' layout could be a little bit different than mine. I don't know too well about OBS Studio. I haven't used it in a while. OBS Studio is kind of like Streamlabs in a way, but right here you can change your game title and your your stream title at any given time. Unlike Streamlabs, you have to go back to Twitch and you have to update it that way, but here you can update it anytime, so it's like in its own little window here. You could drag it to be in the window, which is pretty nice. I kind of wish Streamlabs would do that a little bit more. You can have your chat on the side, so you can see chat, so you can see your game, you can see chat, you can see all that here. And basically the profile is just so whatever account you want to stream on, since I have 2 of them. I have my own here, and then I have the Gamers Revolution one as well. And if you want to stream, I think with this one, so with this one, you can connect your account this way as well by authorizing, or you can use the shrink key, whatever you prefer. These are all my settings for Studio. This should be 8, but I had to redo everything. But basically everything is all the same. OBS Studio is just kind of good for if you don't want to like use a CPU resource-based application like Streamlabs, so this would be pretty good, especially if you're just starting out with streaming. I really don't recommend Streamlabs super early on until you know you're more used to streaming. That's what I would just kind of recommend. And then you just hit start streaming, and then you basically just go live. I wouldn't worry about the chat not being there. Most of the time, your chat and your title should be here. And then once you go live, depending on if you have a bot or not, it'll tell you if you're live. I have a bot that says user is currently live, which would be my name. Yeah, just come up with a good title, a cool live notification, a game. You can use tags to have people search for you a little bit easier. Rerun for this is just to let streamers or let viewers know that this is a rerun stream, meaning that it was a stream that was already done and you're not technically live, but it shows that you are. Branded content is just to let viewers know if you're being sponsored by a brand. So that's basically what it does. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want any more tips about streaming, let me know. I would love to help you guys out in any way I can. I can also give you guys some cool extensions from Streamlabs that I think will be very beneficial, especially like using crowd control, sound alerts, and stuff like that. Sound alerts is better if you're affiliate though, because you can't use them when you're not affiliate. That's the only downside. But other than that, I'm Trevor Neff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.